Welcome back to All the Cars I've Loved Before, your authoritative podcast on automotive nostalgia, where our guests are unique. Each auto has an era, and every car tells a story. So you know it's time to plug in, get a little grease under the fingernails, maybe even your toenails, depending upon how you change your oil, and slip onto that favorite t-shirt, car-themed t-shirt, hat, or jacket. How you doing, partner? What's going on over there in the mid-Atlantic United States?
Doing great. My daughter just graduated high school. That was a big deal. The other weekend, had some family
Fantastic.
in town.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's
So
a big
family was in
milestone.
town.
Yeah, yeah,
Hijinks and meals ensued.
yeah, yeah,
Overeating and yes.
yeah. Good to have my sister and my niece in town, and my brother-in-law, and my mom was very happy to have two-thirds of her
Sure.
grandchildren and two-thirds of her kids.
You had the whole
Complaints.
crew. That's a good showing.
Yeah. Sorry, three-fourths of her grandchildren and two-thirds of her children. So,
Three
yeah.
quarters of them showed up. Nobody was
Yeah.
cut in halves or quartered, right? You're
No,
just saying
well,
fractionally, the
fractionally
entire
speaking.
family being 1/1. I
Yes.
see.
We
Beautiful.
we
Wonderful.
were
Now,
well represented.
beautiful. Okay, and so were there any car projects? Any garage related fun? Or was it all about the family?
Mostly family. I snuck in a little work. Um, I was waiting for a delivery, of course, for some parts, and
Mm-hmm.
I did over the weekend order I think it's by a company called Quick Jack, because
Okay.
I have a low. My garage roof is not as high as I would like because I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
build an apartment above it, as you know. So Quick Jack will raise my cars about 2 to 3 feet off the ground,
There you go.
which is a lot better than what I'm doing right now, which is crawling underneath of them, um, or riding up a little ramp. So I think it's gonna only
Well,
improve my mechanical abilities
yeah, I think you should stop
or
buying
lend to
cars
it.
that are so low to the ground. If you
Well,
would just buy monster trucks, you could just walk around underneath them. I think you might have the problem solved. What do you
yeah,
think?
well, maybe we could talk to Nicole Johnson about what monster truck to drive. Maybe
Let's do it.
Gravedigger is available.
Yeah, absolutely. I could totally see you in that. It's great family car from what I
It,
hear.
it is.
Geographically speaking, over the past week, I want to welcome back our listeners around the world. Yes, we are heard around the world. Welcome back to our listeners in Israel, Germany, Canada, and more closely in these United States, Portland, Oregon, at the top of the list. Why are we so popular in Portland, Oregon? Any ideas?
I know why.
Why?
Because it's
You're
somewhere
about to make
near
something.
Nigel Tunnicliffe lives.
Oh, bang. There
I
you
think
go.
he's in
Very good.
Washington State, but pretty close, right?
Fantastic. We did have a
Coastline
big
Academy
bump.
Driving School. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I love how you can see the big bump in membership in the numbers, and in these blips are fun to watch. The magic of reporting and analytics. Okay, so we said Portland, Oregon, Tuckerton, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Detroit, big cities. The capitals are well represented. A lot of times, some weeks, it's just small towns all over the country, but big cities as well, mixed in here. Detroit. How about Markham, Ontario, and Montreal, Quebec, for our friends north of the border? Welcome.
Nice.
You're always welcome here. Yeah. So one other thing is that we continue to get pictures for the new feature on the website. Really, one of my most favorite parts about the website is, let's see. I said, "Hey Doug, how about the memory merry-go-round or the carousel of cars?" This is where you go to the website and you have pictures of the cars scroll by, and in website parlance, that's called a carousel because they go around. Remember, like slides on the old carousel that
Of
we had as
course.
kids, your folks had as little slides, and you project the image onto the wall. So I said, we should call that the memory merry-go-round or the carousel of cars. But then Doug took the cake by calling it the carousel.
No, the
Carousel.
carousel. The
Brilliant.
cars
So
loved carousel.
I love it. Cars loved carousel. Yeah, carsloved.com, carsloved.com
.com/photos.
/photos will get you there. Please Join us, visit. If you like what you hear, review. You can write a review on the website or on your podcast streaming platform of choice. Other than that, anything new with the website or our outreach? Anything worth mentioning, Doug? Or should we press on to today's guest, who really exciting because we have a fantastic guest today. What do you think?
Let's press on. This is a very special and unique guest.
Let's make it happen. So I have to ask you, Doug, the world famous prompt. How did today's guest find his way to your
Yeah.
virtual garage?
Yeah. So today's guest was brought to us by the gift that keeps giving indirectly. So our wonderful guest, James McCrae
Bless
from
that
the
man.
Eastern Shore of Maryland, yep,
Mm-hmm.
who I went to high school with, referred me to a gentleman named Dirk Decker, who wonderful person. We have to have
Yeah.
his podcast out there. Um, who was a helicopter pilot, as you know, and very big in the Porsche community. And Dirk, we had a great time with Dirk,
Yeah.
and he did a referral to Mr. Timothy Kearns, who we have, who is also a Porsche fanatic, but has a very unique tie to the automotive industry.
Tim, welcome to the show. How are you this fine afternoon?
Wonderful, fellas. Nice to talk to you.
Hey, thanks for making some time in your schedule today. And you have a you're an interesting guy in your own, but some very storied family history around the automotive industry arena. So can you tell us your familial tie to the automotive industry?
Well, I was a little kid growing up in the city of Detroit, and my dad, being part of the automotive culture there, heard that they were trying to improve the mileage on cars. This was way back in 1963.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having a hard time with vacuum carburation. So they wanted to make some electronic components, and he developed the intermittent windshield wiper electronic control.
So interesting. And it's one of these things that's so brilliantly integrated into everyone's life right now. You can't think of a machine without that. But, 50, 60, 70 years ago, things didn't work that way. And so, how did this flash of inspiration come to him?
Well, on his wedding night, he was opening the obligatory bottle of champagne, and it whacked him in the eye when it popped open. And my mom says she knew it was all downhill from there. But
Oh, goodness.
he got blinded in his left eye, and as part of the recuperation, he would blink, and it would hurt when he blinked. And then he began to wonder, how come windshield wipers can't blink the way my eyes blink, because he's looking through the windshield,
Okay, so that's such an interesting. So did he ever regain sight in that eye? Was it temporary blindness, permanent blind? Was he all the way blind, or
He was it was permanent, but he had peripheral vision.
Got it.
Out of the side, so he wasn't fully legally blind. He could drive.
Okay, and so it struck him that, hey, so this is if we could cause it to go more slowly, it's so much less wear and tear on the mechanicals, on the blade itself, and a better experience all the way around. So how quickly from when that happened did he have some sort of prototype to show? I would assume there's a lot of testing.
Well, it took him really just a couple of days to create a circuit. Because he was one of the few people at the time who was working with transistors. He worked with Bendix, so he knew what they were, and that's what is the on-off switch that created the delay. So it's a very simple circuit, so simple that it began to haunt. The simplicity haunted him later in his life.
Interesting. And so he comes up with a prototype. Now, how did the patent part of this work. So not to skip ahead too far, but someone took his idea. So what was his flag in the dirt or flag in the sand? Was there a patent that sort of predated when other people began to come and take this idea that you
Sure.
revisited in the future? How did that work?
He had an initial patent. With that, he began to look for an initial a manufacturer to offer this product to, and eventually he ended up with 30 some patents. But it also got into a lot of litigation because, yes,
Sure.
the automotives in Detroit heard about it. As a matter of fact, his brother was vice president of one of the divisions of Ford, and he managed to present it to Ford through communications offered by his brother.
Gotcha. So guessing, I'm sure Doug wants to hop in here, being the car nut that he is. So his idea was presented, and they said, "Oh no, we have no interest in that." but then they now that they have the idea, right? He wasn't aware that it had even been integrated until later on, and then he came back and said, "Hey, wait a minute, this was my idea."
Well, yeah, it was a sort of like that. When you try to distill it down into a few sentences, you're taking a lot of events that happen really
Indeed,
quickly,
sure.
you know. But basically, yeah, he presented it to Ford. Ford said, "Hey, come on in and show us how it works." And then they were always trying to see the circuit itself, and he always had that very well hidden.
Smart,
Um,
yeah.
and then they tried to trick him into showing him what the circuit was. Eventually, you have to watch the movie, and then you'll end up seeing all the details that we're talking about now.
Yep.
Gotcha. And the movie, Doug, was called
Flash of Genius.
Yeah, and his father was portrayed by, was it Greg Kinnear?
Greg
Greg
Kinnear.
Kinnear.
So interesting.
Greg Kinnear.
And I know Doug wants to get in here, but the thing I find so interesting is to find an audience with the executives of a company, whether your idea is good or bad, is really quite an amazing and striking thing. That in itself was an incredible stroke of luck. You know, everything that happened afterwards was a bit of a domino effect, but just to be in front of them, I don't know, maybe it happens all the time. I haven't worked in the automotive industry, but that struck me. What do you think, Doug?
You know, I had watched parts of the movie and then I watched it last night just
Yeah.
in preparation. And of course, one of my questions for Tim was how accurate the movie was. And it sounds like your family, Tim, was involved in the movie. And we'll actually bring that forward into your first car, which has a tie into the movie.
Oh yeah, well, the you're not supposed to watch your life flash before your eyes. Maybe just once.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good
but
point.
but that's what it felt like when I saw it for the first time. It was
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
it was moving, to say the least.
And the movie came out in 2008, correct?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when did they approach your family about it? I think it was timed with the patent lawsuits, which or some win in 1990, perhaps.
Yeah, it was 90, I think 90 for Ford. Then Chrysler followed that, and then there was a third case that was going to be called the World Case,
Right,
and it was everybody else beyond that.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, we were approached for rights to the story and to make a
Hmm.
movie, even while we were just beginning.
Hmm.
So every year they would send us this little teeny check, and they kept the rights going. But
Hmm.
then finally they came across, and they came across big, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and yeah, for all our listeners, if you haven't seen the movie or it's been a while, watch it. It is really good. It was good to see the young Tim portrayed in there, Timmy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, helping with
Yeah.
soldering. And by the way, that brought me back because my dad was electrical engineer. He's not with us anymore either, but he taught me to solder. And why did he do it? I watched him soldering. I saw the smoke. I thought it was cool. I burned my hand trying to do it behind his back. And he's like, no, I'm going to teach you. He gave me my first soldering iron. And I still use it on, well, not that one, but I still solder for my car projects.
Yeah, it teaches you all kinds of life lessons like
Yeah.
patience and
Yep. Yep. And
Absolutely.
I've gotten better over the years, actually,
And
since I started using it. But yeah, just, seeing your family come together with your dad, including I think you and your older brother, at least as portrayed in the movie,
right.
soldering some parts while your dad was getting the concept together.
Oh yeah, it
Just
was great.
wonderful. Yep, it really was, and inspiring.
yeah,
And we could go on and on about the movie. I think kind of real quick, it's one of the, correct me or get help me get this right. In terms of patent law or patent lawsuits, right? It was a very long and well documented lawsuit or set of lawsuits, or just maybe it
suite of
caused some
lawsuits. Yeah.
reform in patent law as a result. Tim,
Oh,
I said a lot there.
oh yeah, no, it really is. It's seminal to modern patent law,
Yep.
and he truly did change the patent law for all the inventors that are coming in the
Yep.
future. And they minimized, maybe not so much minimized, but they certainly had representation of the inventors in the movie too.
Hmm.
And he did it for the inventors. He didn't do it
Yep.
for the money. Um, that was always
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and really, it seems to me, and I know Doug wants to get to the
It's
to your
okay.
origin story of these
You're
cars,
good.
but the arc of justice, the amount of years and decades it took is really inspiring. And you got to go see the movie. And Doug will have all this linked to in the liner's notes. But when it takes years of his sticking to his guns, knowing that he's right, holding feet to the fire, I can't think of anything more daunting than entering the legal system, which is Byzantine to begin with, and then going up against just
The big
uh,
three.
yeah, just phalanxes of corporate lawyers. Can you think of anything more stacked against you? Yet he was right. Yet he persisted. He won in the end, blazed a trail for inventors, and changed the system that we know today. And that's really so beautiful and profound. Do you ever reflect on that, Tim?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love it.
It was 30 years. But it changed the world. So
yeah, it
it
did.
didn't seem that way at the time. It was a real
Yep.
pain. But we always had the dream that, and he would instill it in us that no, you got to pay attention to this because it's going to make a difference.
Yeah,
And he
Yep.
got us all to participate 100%, even after we all had careers. We left our careers to assist him during
Hmm.
the Ford case and the Chrysler case.
wow,
And
wow.
and each
It's
of those was 5 year
golly.
of yeah.
Yeah. Their
Anyway,
Sure.
lives.
And it would have been so easy to give up. It would have been so easy to throw in the towel, but you didn't. You didn't. And that's such a
Or take
victory.
the settlement, right? And his dad just
Correct.
wouldn't do it.
Correct.
Principles.
we had a lot of discussions around the family table.
Yep.
I
You know?
bet you did. I
Yep.
bet you did.
And Tim, you are one of six children, right? That Dr. Kearns had.
Yes, there's six
Yep.
of us, and
Yeah.
he had us because he needed a corporation to do
Yep.
exactly what we did,
Right.
which is to undeniably help him.
Yep. And
Fantastic.
irreverently spoken of as the Kearns Corporation, and you were all the board of directors, as he spoke in the movie.
He did indeed, yep.
Yep.
And
And
that's
Fantastic.
true, yeah.
I'll throw this in. Hopefully, Christian won't mind. Did any of your siblings become lawyers, maybe as a result, or it led them in that direction? Of course.
Well, it's funny. Each one of us is sort of a piece of a lawyer,
Yeah.
you know.
As
Um,
it, as
Great
was your
answer.
father.
As is him, yeah, because we were all sitting there when my dad was learning from the real law professors that he hired to help him learn how to be a lawyer.
Yep.
And there's a whole long story of why that had to
Yeah.
happen. But yeah, so Dennis is actually a private detective,
Mm-hmm.
which is close to being a lawyer. You know, you
Sure.
learn about what it is you need to defend and where does the evidence come from.
Yep.
So
Yep. And
yeah.
yeah, I was encouraging Christian, and Christian, hopefully you won't mind me saying it. As we recorded this, Christian's son, middle son, it was his first day of an internship at a law firm.
Wow.
Today. Yeah.
Yep,
So,
just
and
today.
a paid internship at that. So as soon as we're done
High
recording this
school.
interview,
Yes.
I can't wait to go. Yeah, he's a junior in high school, but on his mock trial team,
Great guy.
did very well at that, enjoyed it, and so as soon as it's done, our conversation here is done. I'm gonna, we're gonna go have dinner and chat about his first day. So yeah, at this point, I think it would be proper to hop in the time machine, go
Yeah.
88 miles an hour, go back into history, and as Doug was saying, there's an interesting tie-in between the car scene with intermittent wipers and his first car. So let's tell us a little about that if you can.
Well, the first car was actually a 67 Cougar that my dad bought. There's a whole long story about where that came from. But the first car that I felt was my car that I paid for was a 71 Mach 1.
Oh, wow.
I bought it from a guy down the street. My grandfather lent me $2,000 to buy it. This was probably 2-year-old car at the time.
Sure.
351 Cleveland, T10 4-speed Hurst shifter, all the drag package. I didn't know it had a drag package until after I got it. And it was an amazing car.
Yeah. Just a beast of a car. I mean, just big and beefy and wide and angular, just a menacing looking thing.
Yeah.
How long did you have that car for?
I had it for about 4 years. And it got 10 miles a gallon. 780 dual pumper vacuum secondaries. Yeah, it was suck it down.
Yeah,
and
like
even
driving
at
a jet engine. Yeah.
At 35 cents a gallon, it was still a lot of gas and a lot of money.
Yeah, so now that's very interesting you mentioned that last part, because something happened in the 70s that made it very disadvantageous, to say the least, to own a car like that. What happened in the 70s to cause you to move into your next car?
Oh, well, that was the, I don't know, what was it, a shortage?
You got it.
Yeah, I forget exactly what caused it, but the end result was you couldn't get any gas.
And yeah, exactly.
They called it the gas crisis, right?
Yeah.
And what year was that? About 75?
I remember. Yeah, 75, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I think they were actually, well, it's OPEC just tightening, right? Because although there's so much refining, we have all the refining capacity we'll ever need in this country. At the time, we didn't have the crude oil. So all OPEC had to do, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, all they had to do was kind of rein in and tighten in. So just supply and demand 101. When they do that, what happens to the price of oil? Boom. So all the oil came here was just so expensive. Okay, so we could refine it. It's just the feedstock was so expensive. And yeah, and we were chatting about this before the show, and we've had several guests on, and I just find this fascinating that when I go to a gasoline station now, I don't think anything of it. In fact, gasoline is so plentiful here. Well, oil in this country now, due to fracking, technological advances, also in refining too, that you can find gasoline anywhere. I mean, it's 10 cents, it's 2 cents over here cheaper. You go do that. It's so plentiful. But I just can't wrap my head around what it must have been like in the 70s. I've seen even heard of cars running dry and had to be pushed into the gasoline station, long lines. Like you were saying, and even in odd numbers on the license plate or on the day. That's just incredible. So that
Yeah.
had a big impact on you, because the Mach 1 wasn't, you decided to trade that in, get something more economical.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I had like 25 miles to drive to the University of Maryland to go to school,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed something that was a little more efficient. Um, so it became a Pinto.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And before we and there's obviously lots of good stories about Pintos in the news, right? And the gas crisis, and that's, yeah, the Pinto was kind of ready to go. That's a success story for the most part. Um, you did tell us, thinking about the Mustang, and I love this song that you picked out. Uh, Thinking back, what was a favorite song of yours that makes you, if you hear it on the radio, you think about the Mustang. If you think about the Mustang, you probably think about this song.
Oh yeah, I think that was it Steppenwolf, I think it was.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Born to be
Yeah.
wild.
Born to be Wild for
Yeah.
sure.
And I
Yeah.
I can just imagine you in that Mustang Mach 1 just burying the needle, watching the
Cranking it
gas
on the
gauge
8 track.
literally move to the
Yeah.
left and
Oh yeah.
listen to that song.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, what a wonderful story. And it obviously you became a car guy at some point. Maybe it was because of your father, maybe it was because growing up in Detroit for however long you lived there, but certainly the Mustang was key, probably.
Oh yeah. Well, Dad had a lot of interaction with Ford,
Yes.
and of course, growing up in Detroit, Woodward Avenue was not far away.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
we would hitchhike 3 or 4 miles away on a Friday or a Saturday to watch what was happening on Woodward Avenue. Um, and that was just seminal to becoming the car guy. Yeah,
Yep.
every kid was.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. If you're a Detroit guy, Detroit kid, right? How
Right,
could you not?
right.
Yeah, it's my niece who is visiting actually goes to University of Michigan. So we were talking
Mhm.
about I'm trying to get my daughter to go out there, but I selfishly to visit her, selfishly I want to go and see all the car museums while I'm out there. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
even visit John DeLorean's grave. So
There you go.
which has a really wonderful tombstone of the DeLorean with the doors open. So it'd be great to see that.
Nice.
Yeah. So back to the Pinto. So tell us about the Pinto for people who don't know, the Pinto was infamous for somewhat cost cutting that ended up making it a very dangerous car. But at the time, it got what was the gas mileage, Tim, if you remember?
Oh, I think it had to be in the low 20s, which was
Yeah.
pretty good. It was a
Yeah.
four-cylinder,
Hmm.
They
four
were small.
3-speed um, floor shifter.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Conceit.
cool shape.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, nice
And there
car.
were many, right? There was the hatchback, there was a two-door, there was a four-door, there was a four-door hatchback. There were many different models, right?
And a wagon,
Yep, wagon,
and
full wagon. Yep.
it's always still fun to see the tubbed out Pinto with the M&H Race Masters in the back and just this little ball of a differential left between them. Yeah, it's cool.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, they get used for quarter mile drag cars, right?
Yeah,
For some reason they caught on as popular. I don't know,
right,
maybe they're just easy to modify.
right.
Yep. Cool. And so after the Pinto, and maybe when gas prices got better, you moved on to a import car. Can you tell us a little bit about that car?
Well, it was yeah, import cars were cool, and
Mm-hmm.
being a young architect, everybody had their import in mind, and mine just happened to turn into a faster version of um, an import car. It was a BMW 2002.
Yeah, and that was really like the first kind of wasn't the first BMW in the US, was it? But it was the first like it was the car that made BMW in the US
I think it
popular.
was, yeah, I would say
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're still prized after, right?
Oh,
Sought
very
after.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. And then the 3 Series followed, right? Which
Right,
really is the one everybody else remembers. But
right,
yeah.
right. This was
Yeah.
the precursor to the 3
Yeah.
Series. Yeah.
So you went from like super fast, not maybe the best brakes, not the best handling, to slow and none of those things,
Right.
to a BMW, which maybe wasn't fast, but it was a whole different experience, right, Tim?
Oh yeah, I did hot rod it. I put a Weber 40 on it.
Oh,
That
okay.
helped. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it was a nice car.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, certainly not one of your not the last of your German cars, right? Because and this is our connection with Dirk and maybe how you met Dirk, right? Um,
Yeah,
you are
pretty much.
very involved with Porsche.
Well, yeah. So after the BMW started to rust out, I needed to find a dependable car, and this was at the time when Ford was just coming out with the Probe, and I thought, well, I'll buy a Probe, a modern technology, all those things, and I went to I went to get it, and it was $25,000 or something like that.
Yep.
And one of my friends said, "Well, if you're going to spend that kind of money, why don't you get a Porsche?" I said, "What's a Porsche?" And they reminded me. So I went, and sure enough, I saw at the local dealership a 944, normally aspirated. I didn't know that at the time, but I drove it, and I thought, "Well, this is a nice car. I like the way it is," and I ended up buying it the next day. Um, and then as I'm driving that car around Easton, Maryland, where I am, um, there was another 944, and my wife now saw it. She was my girlfriend at the time, and she goes walking up to the guy and says, uh, "My boyfriend has a 944, and he has a beard just like yours." And that was the first time she met Dirk, and she introduced me to
Ah,
Dirk, and that's how that relationship
oh,
built. Yeah.
okay. So
Oh, wow.
you've been friends with Dirk for
Yeah.
30 plus years then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So the two of us went off and took our 944s to the Porsche Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And nowadays you have a 93 911, which is a 964 model,
Right.
which is air cooled,
Very
right?
much.
And do you race that at Porsche events?
At the DEs, yeah,
Yep.
with Potomac region.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm the
Yep.
I'm the DE steward.
Right.
So yeah, we've been doing that. Well, we grew up through it,
Mm-hmm.
Dirk and I. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And we're gonna have Vu Win on,
Oh,
who I met many years ago when I had a 996 very briefly. But it'll be
good.
good to reconnect with him, and Dirk helped with that reintroduction, if you will. So yeah, so you're very involved in the weekend events, and I guess you're considered it's a high performance driving event instructor. Would that be accurate?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a nationally rated instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I choose not to instruct. I'm the steward. I'm the essentially the policeman that puts cars on and off the track,
Yep.
and keeps track of them all.
Yep. And yeah, I think you said you're in the hot pit. Is that the term?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And we have a reference back to the carousel. We have a picture of Tim wearing a cone, like a cone costume in the hot pit.
Because there's a lot of fast moving
Yeah,
cars
yeah.
in the pit.
Yep.
And the one thing every driver knows is never hit a cone. So that's why
Exactly.
I became the cone.
Yep. Smart. Smart. And it hasn't failed you yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so Porsche, now we do like to ask, I know we're running a little bit out of time here, but if you don't mind, what was the most dangerous, and I know you have a great story with this, and for some of our listeners, they won't know what the car is, but what was the most dangerous car you were in and why?
The most dangerous car was my brother Dennis's um, serial number 13 Bricklin. And he asked me to help him renovate it So I was driving it on an off ramp near Gaithersburg. Um, Maybe I was experiencing it a little too much, but all four tires blew dry rotted, and I'm counter steering not to hit the guardrail.
Oh man,
Yeah.
man. But you didn't hit the guardrail, right?
No, no, not a bit.
Yeah.
It
And
was close.
yep. And the irony, right? The Gullwing, or sorry, the Bricklin Gullwing vehicle was designed as a safety vehicle, right? I think it was called the
SV1.
SV1.
Oh
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
yep.
Yeah, yeah,
And built with uh, different materials, right? I think fiberglass and some other things, and like real impact bumpers, and yeah, it was really designed to be a safety vehicle.
yeah.
But it wasn't safe with dry rotted tires, though.
No, it's not
That couldn't
safe at
save
all.
it. Yep.
No,
And
not a
Yep.
bit.
so I don't know if you guys can hear me, but my
Yes.
Zoom glitched for about 2 or 3 minutes, and y'all got into the Bricklin. So if you've already covered this, don't cover it again. But
Yep.
how did he come across a Bricklin? Was it a difficult vehicle to get?
He got it in Detroit somewhere.
Okay.
I'll have to ask him. But yeah, he lives still in Detroit, the suburbs of Detroit. So he picked it up there.
And does he still have it by chance?
I think he passed it on to
Okay,
somebody.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
James had a Bricklin at his shop. I don't know if it belonged to somebody else. It was not your brother's though, apparently.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, there's so many things. I did want to ask, so you live on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. You're an architect, and for a lot of people who also love movies besides watching Flash of Genius, you did some work on a home or homes that was featured in the movie Wedding Crashers, which a lot of people don't realize was taken in the Eastern Shore. I think it was on an island near Oxford. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, there's the house is called Ellenborough,
Okay.
and it's on the Trudavon River.
Okay.
It was a state home from the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's undergone a number of renovations. So I got involved on an early renovation um, to do a kitchen redo, um, and of course those types of houses flip owners very often. So I ended up doing a full renovation of the caretaker's house on that same property
Okay.
um, for a different owner. It got subdivided off. So
Okay.
that's the way it goes here.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. A lot of people don't know where that was filmed, and I just remember seeing the Annapolis Harbor. I live in Annapolis, of course, and I saw the Woodwind where they went on the, I guess it was after the wedding, post wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went on a cruise on the Woodwind to that island, to that home that you rebuilt,
Oh yeah.
renovated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so really all ties it together. And of course, you lived in Maryland for 35 years?
1974 to
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
1970 to
Okay.
till present. Yeah, but
Yep.
on the
Yep.
Eastern Shore since '89. Yeah.
Since 89. Yeah.
Yeah.
And certainly Oxford's got some good history. Harriet Tubman, right? The Underground Railroad.
Yes.
It's also a beautiful place.
The Robert Morris was the signer of the Declaration of
Yes.
Independence.
Yep.
The original Naval Academy was here in Oxford, and then it suffered a burn, and that's when it moved
Oh.
to Annapolis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that piece.
Yep.
Okay. Wonderful. Wow.
And of course, we still have the oldest continually running car ferry is in
Ooh.
Easton. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Oxford, and
Okay.
it goes to Bellevue, which is on the St. Michael's Neck.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. And there's some great car shows in the Eastern Shore, Easton, Oxford area, correct?
and a wonderful museum in St.
Yes.
Michael's.
Yes. Yep.
And I've been lucky enough to do a few car garages for
Okay.
some of the bigger collectors here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I know the museum just bought an old gas station. I don't know if you're involved in that renovation.
I got a Bob Kearns story about that gas
Okay.
station. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
He
Awesome.
he yep.
All
He
right. Well,
actually he rebuilt the motor of one of my dad's cars.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
What a tie-in, and it just makes me happy. I live in Maryland and try and get over the bridge whenever I can, except during summer. Except
Except
on
on Friday.
Thursday and Fridays
That's
in
right.
summer. Yep. Don't
That's
don't
right.
go anywhere. So with all that, Christian is having some technical problems, but he asked me to thank you, of course, and we're hoping to have you back. And I just wanted to kind of close out the show with he was Timothy Kearns, um, wonderful man, architect, car aficionado, car industry veteran via his father, featured in the movie Flash of Genius with Greg Kinnear. Wonderful movie. Really some great family values, family times, like growing up in a family of 6 children and doing all that. Just incredible. And the things your dad did for inventors, to your point, right? Really changed the laws and helped keep companies honest, right? Is probably the simple thing to say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's probably better terms, but yeah, we'd love to have you back. So this is Tim Kearns, and you have just heard the high revving, low mileage, late model, heard round the world authoritative podcast on automotive nostalgia. I'm Doug. You can reach me at doug@carslove.com. He is Christian. You can meet him at christian@carslove.com. And Tim, if people want to find you, what would be a good way for them to find you? Because I assume you may do some projects still from time to time.
Oh, I'm still working.
Okay, excellent.
Let's see, tbkernsdesign.com
Okay,
and yeah, tbkerns at icloud.com.
okay, yep. And we
Yeah.
will put all that in the show notes when we post this episode.
Wait a
And
minute,
Great.
I'm back. Can you
he's
hear me?
back.
All right, we're going to end this show the right way. You've just heard the high revving, low mileage, late model, heard around the world, third favorite podcast on automotive nostalgia. He's Doug. Reach me at Doug@carslove.com. I'm Christian. Reach me at Christian@carslove.com. He's Tim. You know how to get a hold of him. Please follow and tell a friend. If you like what you hear, go to your podcast streaming platform of choice and leave a review. Yes, my phone completely took a dump. I went to SOS mode in the middle of an interview, but I am back. I'm sure Doug did great. And troutcarslove.com or our link tree at
linktr.ee/cars loved, which is our digital switchboard, as Christian calls it.
I love it. And if I got nothing out of this, get some big laughs from Doug. Thank you so much, Tim. Sorry about what just happened, but I'm sure we will see you at the next local car show, showroom, race strip, or concours. We appreciate you taking a lap with us, and we will see you next time. Thank you, listener land.